Alright, it is that time, and we are going to put this motor back together. Now, I already see that I got a sliver from the wire wheel inside the motor, which is not that good. I'm going to give you guys a great tip. You know how you clean up these little wire slivers, which really hurt when you get stuck by them? There, magnet. But really, all you gotta do is go barefoot in your workshop. You'll find all of them that way. I swear to God, you will find every sliver there is if you just go barefoot. Alright, now let's get back to work here. Alright, we're ready. We cleaned up our core earlier. It's nice and shiny. We did not lose the thrust washer. So now we're going to put this guy back in here. And no, I did not ruin the magnets by taking them out. Magnets are just fine. They still work. Alright, now, so we got to put a couple of gears in, right? And if we don't remember how to do that, I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the big gear. And he goes on the middle one right here, right? Okay, you go like that. But now, as you can see, since I already put them on there, I got two posts. That's how I know that the little gears go under there. And then the little gears got little gears on them. And then the wheels got gears on them too. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go and consult the picture I took when I took this apart. And that's how I'm going to know how these gears go back in here. Now, I know because I've done it a lot of times. But you should take a picture so you can look at it again. And that's how you will know how they go back together. Okay, guys. Now, look, I got all my clean gears here. So, here's a little trick to remember how this works. You should have taken a picture. If you didn't, though, just remember this. Everybody goes down. Everybody goes down. Take your gears. They're all double gears. And all the little gears go down. Everybody goes down. And they all go down. That's how they go back together. Everybody goes down. Alright, everybody goes down. Everybody's in there. Notice I'm not putting on any lubricant yet, because I don't want to get lubricant all up in there where the motor itself is. All right, remember these guys are my repaired gears too, and they're in there. All right, that looks right. I got it upside down, but when it's this way, everybody goes down. Okay. So now we got them ready, and then we're going to put the wheels back on. Let's get this guy back together here. Alright, everybody goes down. There she is. Alright, now, she's back in there. And what I want to do now is I am going to put on my lubricant. And I'm going to use this stuff right here. This high temp disc brake wheel bearing grease. It's a lithium. And I've been using it for like 25 years. Look at this. That's all I've used in... I don't know, I think I got this in maybe even long, probably in like about 1990. I haven't even used a quarter of this can yet on hundreds of locomotives, because you don't need that much. And the nice thing about it, it doesn't spread everywhere. You put a drop of oil in here and you're going to have oil all over the place. We don't want that. We want just a little bit. Let's take my little screwdriver here. I'm just going to put a little dab on the end of it. And I'm going to get some in here. You don't need to pack grease in here. I just cleaned these. All of these are just washed with dish soap And I don't want to fill this sucker full of grease. You don't need that much. Okay, now I got a little bit. I want to make sure it's on each one. This stuff is great because it doesn't spread all over the place. You get it in the teeth, it will spread through its section, but it's not going to go all over. That's all I'm going to use, just that little bit. Okay, now I'm just going to give it a little spin around here, and we're going to work it in just a second here when we test this motor. I'll put the cover back on, and we're going to test this guy, because remember, he's got these repaired gears in here. Okay, and then I'm going to look for any spots where the grease has balled up, because I don't want that. Alright, now we're finding out right now that we might have to do just a little bit of filing on these repaired gears. Let's just see. Sometimes it just means we don't have the cover on. They tend to slip without their cover on. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and I got some little spots in here that have extra grease on them, which I'm going to clean. I don't need it, because I don't need that much. Okay, once I got these guys, once I got them in their place, got all the excess grease cleared out, we're going to be ready to hook up a couple alligator clips and kind of run this locomotive, run this pancake motor in a little bit. Alright, now, for now, I have put the truck back together. Remember, I did say we were going to do some weathering, and we are going to do some weathering, but we're going to get the motor working first. So what we got to do now is we got to put those brushes back in here. Those little tiny guys and those springs. Here's another opportunity for us to lose those springs, and once they fly off this table, they will be gone. So first I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my tweezers, and I'm going to put a brush in. You know, I used to clean these with the Dremel tube, but it doesn't matter. They're just carbon. You don't really have to clean them. It doesn't really make any difference. Now, if there are bigger brushes or older ones that are worn into a pattern, then you might want to clean those off and kind of refresh them. But these guys, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, these guys are flat now. I'm going to use my tweezers. I don't always, but I should always use my tweezers. Let's get those guys in there. They don't have an upside down. They don't have a right way or a wrong way. Alright, now, I did not put the motor screws back in. And the reason I didn't do that is because we're going to test this motor using some alligator clips in just a second here. So first, grab the two screws, and I want my Phillips screwdriver. And now it is time to do that thing where we put these doggone springs in. Very carefully set that guy in there. Now you need to be ready. Okay, I got the springs sitting on there. I'm going to go ahead and press them down. Hold them with a finger. And now, I actually am going to hook up these rings again. Remember, I put a blue streak on this one right here. That meant that was the front one. So I got to hold this in place. If I don't, I'm going to lose that spring. So now I'm going to take a screw, I'm going to put it in there, put it in the hole. Here's screwed in place. There. Okay, that's one. Alright, that guy is good. And I'm not mounting him back in here. I'm gonna test this on the bench, not on the track. Okay, next, we're gonna do another one. So I'm taking a little screw, I'll put it in the ring first. Whatever way you want to do this, I'm gonna put in there so I don't have to do it after I've got the spring in place. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my tweezers, very carefully grab the spring, get my cover. Get every part ready here. I'm going to put this spring, I'm just going to lay it on there. I don't want to spring it. There. Whew. And we went out of focus, didn't we? Alright, let's see here. See if we can get back in focus. Alright, we are back in focus. I have not lost the spring. It's still in here. And got this guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover on, covering the spring, and I'm going to hold it in place with my finger. Remember, it's like a little step. You cover it up. Got him. I didn't lose him. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and, oops, drop the screw. Alright, now we got to get that screw back in there. All the while, we cannot let go of this spring, or we're going to lose it forever. There we go. Okay, let's just drop them in place. It doesn't matter. I got the wires crossed. Don't care about that right now. I just want that guy in there so I do not lose this spring. There we go. Whew. We made it. We got him. So you know what we can do now? Guess what we got right here? We got ourselves a pair of alligator clips. What we need now, we need something to set this guy on while we test him. And I'm going to try, no, that guy's too big. I'm not going to do that guy. I want to set this guy, and I'm using up all my usual pieces here for the camera. All right, we'll just hold him so I can show you right now. And it doesn't matter which way we do this because we are not concerned about direction at this time. We'll do direction finding. I'll show you how to do direction finding later. We're going to test them. We're going to see what we got. Alright. We don't got much yet. Yep. Let me fix the power pack. Alright, we are hooked up to the power pack with some alligator clips. We're going to test this motor now. Alright, we have signs of life. Let's give them a little help here. There we go. Got them rolling. Alright, now you can smell, you should be able to smell a bit of the lithium. It's not burning plastic. That's the lithium grease getting a little bit warm. That lithium, it takes a bit to warm up. If it's cold, it'll be a bit stiff, and you're going to have to do some warm-up laps with your locomotive. Alright, for being out of the shell and out of the frame, it doesn't sound that bad. Let's see how she goes when she's nice and slow. Alright, about 40% is where we're at. Got her down at 25%, and she's still turning. So that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and switch her around. Not too bad. Now, when I take this apart to do some weathering, I'm gonna take the side frame off again, and I'm gonna take the wheels out, do a little painting on them. At that time, I will probably add a little bit more grease, since now I've got the lithium grease all spread out, and I want to add just a little more, and that will quiet it down a little bit. Otherwise, we have a live motor again. And so I can hear a little clicking. But as long as she's spinning, that little clicking is from our gear repair. But it's not that bad. I think we'll find out more when we put her on the test track for a few laps a little later. Alright, now, I put a little extra lube in there, got it all spread around. Right now, with the gears taken out, with our cracked gears taken out, it's pretty smooth. Not only that, it runs pretty good, nice and slow. It's fairly quiet. And I'm cleaning up the excess grease in here. We don't need all this extra grease in here. It doesn't serve any purpose. That ain't bad right there. And what we're going to do is, I did notice that the cracked gears just wobble a little bit. So we're going to clean those up, and then we're going to put them back in. And that appears to be the only sticking. They're holding, and we need to take our little file and go ahead and make those teeth just a bit smoother at that spot. Okay, so at the spot where I have repaired the gear, I'm going to take my little file here. I'm just going to file on the back side just a bit. You'll notice that it feels really hard right there, because it is. I'm just going to file it off just a little bit, not too much. Like, it's like, what, 3-4 times. I'm going to take my little X-Acto knife here. I'm just going to clean out between the teeth just a little bit. I don't want to break off teeth, which on slippery plastic you're not going to break them off, but you might deform them. Okay, and then where the baking soda is, it's really hard right there. So I just want to make sure that it's nice and clean in those spots. And it's not so much the big gear that is giving me the problem. It's the small one down below. Okay, at the spot where the crack is, I just want to clean it. I'm not filing here. Just want to clean it a little bit with the knife, because it's super hard in there compared to the soft gear around it. And that's about all I need to do. Alright, both gears clean. Let's put them in here again and give it a try. Alright, let's give it a try. Gears back in, they've been cleaned out again. And we're not going to put now that we've spread the lube out once, we don't need to put the side frames back on for this part. They'll stay in okay. And let's go ahead and clean up the lube in here. Oh yeah, there, and that's a big improvement now. Sounds much better. Find these little globs of grease. Get them spread out. Okay. Not so much rattling anymore. Now that we've cleaned it out, our gear repair sounding fairly good. That ain't bad at all. That's much quieter. With the cover on and the shell, it's going to be pretty decent actually. Okay, everything's just floating freely in there. And we don't have a bunch of excess grease everywhere, which is a good thing. We don't want that. Alright, that's, for being out of the shell, I think that sounds pretty good. I think we're ready to, we'll do a little weathering now, and then we're going to go ahead and test them on the track.